วัสดีครับอาจารย์ครับผมพร้อมนะครับครับผมครับ
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another meeting of Dhamma practices. Everyone is welcome to join. And we will go one after another. First come, first serve, okay? The first one here is Felicia Chan from Malaysia.
Good evening, Prajan. I have no question for tonight. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. Next, Mudita from Bangkok.
Good evening, Kanajan. I also have no questions today. Thank you.
Okay. Yokbe from New York. Yokbe.
Good evening, Prajan.
You have any question today?
Yes, I have two questions for my friend. One is a Buddhism can marry they can marry man and woman. The question I have.
There's no restriction on this, as long as they are faithful to one another. Once they are married, then they cannot have extramarital activity, like no committing adultery. Adultery? Yes, adultery cannot. Once you're married, the sex doesn't matter in Buddhism. If you're happy with whatever sex you have, it's okay as long as you are faithful to one another.
Okay. The next question is about happened from the New York, the subway station. The lady only 40 years old. She's waiting at the station. One is the crazy guy and pulling she in the track, the round track, and after that she died. And then the news said that she doing so many things at the communication, and it's the neighborhood said that she's a good person. How come she does have the bad karma at this happening?
Oh, death can have many causes of death. So it's not whether you are a good or bad person. Good or bad person die. It's just a matter how or when. So you just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, I guess.
Okay. The only good thing, I'm happy every day I still can breathe. Every day can do my medicine. Thank you. Sadhu,
You're welcome.
sadhu.
Okay. The best thing you can do about death is be mindful and be clever. You have to be safe, take precaution. Don't expose yourself to danger, like standing right on the track. You should stay away so no one can push you down easily. This is just an example, not using mindfulness and wisdom properly. If you use mindfulness, wisdom, then you say, maybe the standing close to the track is not a good thing to do. Maybe you should stand back, maybe a few meters back. So the chance of being pushed into the track would be almost impossible. This is not to find fault on the person, just to let you have to use your head, think properly, whatever you do. Sometimes people are not mindful of what they do because they are involved with watching the telephone more than looking at where they are supposed to be. I think lots of problems happen because people are not mindful enough. If you're mindful, if you're careful, then you might be able to prevent a lot of things that shouldn't happen. So this is my take on it.
Thank you, Satu.
Okay. Next, Charles from Bangkok.
Ajahn, I'm so fast today. Ajahn, I have a few questions about meditation. The first one is about the object of meditation. And I heard from Temple that a person can achieve a deep meditation by observe the heartbeat of his body. So my question is, can we observe our body sensation to achieve a deep samadhi instead of breathing only?
Well, the answer is you have to try it and find out for yourself.
Okay, that's possible. It depends on the individual. Is that what you mean, Ajahn?
Well, the goal is to keep you attentive on one thing and not allowing your mind to think about other things. That's all.
Okay, so based on this, let's say when we practice the vipassana, we always observe our body part by part. So we kind of every part take 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, but not stay there for a long time. But if we stay for that position for a long time, that could be that could be the way to achieve a samatha level kind of meditation. And I understand correctly, as long as we focus on one place for a long time.
Just stay with one object. Don't change object if you want to still your mind.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good. That means possible to do it, but probably very hard to do it because breathing is an easy way, I believe. Yeah. And I have another question. One time a person told me that there's that the way he meditates, that just Dhammatalk, just observe the body, observe the mind, whatever happened to the mind, thinking, whatever, just be aware and observe, just like that. No need to be really worried about concentration or anything else. But my question is that another way of meditation? Just observe the mind laterally, whatever happened, it happened. Is this the way to meditate?
Well, the ultimate goal is to just be an observer and not be an actor in everything. So just be part of nature. No action. You just watch. Just observe everything that comes into your perception, your feel of knowing, and just really know, and without do any reaction, especially the emotional reaction.
Can we achieve a deep samadhi by just observe the thought and what happened in the mind?
I don't think so.
No. Oh.
The Buddha said anapanasati if you want to go too deep.
So just like calm and relax, not really at a like chan or deep samadhi level, right?
And when you say just merely observe, it depends on what you're observing. See? When you observe somebody trying to kill you, can you still merely observe or not? See?
Yes. Actually, the story is one time I meditate in my friend's house for 7 days. Right? He got a big resort area. At a good deed, right? I stayed there 7 days, and the monk visit, and then he asked me, "How do you meditate?" I say, in the next 7 days, I say I want to extend my concentration from 5 minutes to 10 minutes in 7 days. Right? Probably not maybe 7 minutes, right? I just want to have extend my concentration in a longer period of time. He said, no, this is not way. He's a monk, okay? The university professor turned to the monk. He said, you just sit there, just observe whatever happened in your mind, relax, just Dhammatalk like that. That's why I didn't follow their advice, right? I feel
you can do that if you have equanimity, but if you don't have equanimity, you cannot observe.
Yeah, I think I
you
need
become
concentration.
engaged and you become involved in what you observe.
Yeah.
The goal is first to get equanimity before you go to that stage.
Yeah. Okay.
Once you have equanimity and you're not reacting to anything, then you can just observe. People did something bad to you, you just observe. Just let them do what they want to do to you.
But there is wisdom.
If they steal your money, let them steal your money. You just observe.
Yeah. That's vipassana type of thing, right?
If you get angry, then you're not observing.
Yeah. So that's by practice vipassana, we observe the body and mind.
And leave them alone.
Yeah.
And
but Ajahn, you mentioned many times.
You
mentioned many times, in order to practice vipassana, we need to have a strong samatha.
Equanimity first.
Yeah,
equanimity.
Yeah. So that's, I think that is, I don't know, that's I don't know what. So I focus on my object better. Okay. And I have one more question about meditation is that when we meditate, sometimes we feel some sensation on the face, sometimes like the insect bite, sometimes insect moving. Sometimes I feel that like something go to my ear or something. And I asked what happened. Some suggest it is just naturally happened randomly. But others say that this is sankhara. The others say that this is a testing from spiritual. So what is the right understanding when we're feeling? It usually happen when we're in the good meditation, go deeper. It will be happen like that. But it happened to me last few years already. It happened 4 or 5 years ago. Happened very often. Now it's less and less. So what should be the right understanding when something happened like that?
It's not what, it's how you should react to them. And the answer is you just ignore them.
Yes, ignore, because
you just concentrate. You continue on concentrating.
Yeah.
If you don't, then you will be distracted from your meditation.
It's very distracted because we don't know whether it's real or not real. One time I feel the mosquito bite here and there. Normally it's not real. One time it's real, right? When I finish, right, everywhere is the mosquito bite. So we cannot differentiate sometimes.
Doesn't matter if they're real or not real. The point is, can you continue on concentrating or not?
Okay. Yes, this is a right way to do, of course. Don't worry about the reason in that case. Just
if you worry about them, then you lose your concentration.
Exactly.
You're not moving forward.
The problem is, I think what happened, right? When you think what happened, then it's a distraction already. You cannot.
And also continue. Thinking already. You want to stop thinking.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, Ajahn, thank you very much. That's my question.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, Kuk Seng from Singapore.
Yeah, I have a question tonight regarding nimitta. So my understanding so far about nimitta is that if whatever mental image that arises during our meditation, we just ignore it. So so I just want to check with Ajahn whether my this understanding is it correct?
Yes, just ignore everything when you do concentration. Just keep focus on your meditation object only.
Okay. Actually, these questions arises because last Sunday when I have a discussion with my Buddhist friends, so when this question about nimitta arises, so the point of view was that we should not ignore the nimitta, but must acknowledge it, must take note of it, and so on. So I just want to clarify that my understanding is correct.
No, if you do that, then you lose concentration. You move away from your meditation object. and then you just get stuck there.
Okay. Okay. Then Ajahn, I have another question regarding my friend who is following the Mahayana tradition. So he feel that certain sutras, like the Heart Sutra, he find that is to him is very important and so on. And then for myself, because I'm following the Theravada tradition, so I at the back of my mind, I'm a bit skeptical of why he has such a strong, so-called strong feeling that that particular sutra is very important and so on. To me is that those sutras that are not found in the Theravada tradition, they are I'm a bit so-called, I have some doubts about it. So I just want to check with Ajahn whether this thinking that I have regarding some skepticism over some of the sutras in the Mahayana tradition. Actually, I was actually struggling that why I have such kind of thinking, such kind of skepticism. So I a bit of struggle with this. Yeah.
I don't know why you want to study Mahayana in the first place.
Not me. It's my friend.
Okay, then leave him alone. It's not you, then you don't worry about it. You just worry about yourself. You just keep studying your tradition. If you start to study many traditions, then you can run into confusion because different tradition might teach differently.
My struggle is that I was thinking that I have that kind when I converse with my friend who is of the Mahayana tradition. I have this skepticism and so and this sense of skepticism within myself is not a very pleasant sensation, not a pleasant feeling. And so I'm thinking, how should I cope with it?
Well, I don't know why you have to be skeptical about what other people believe. It's their belief, it's not your belief. So if it doesn't coincide with your belief, then just forget about it. That's all. There's no need to be skeptical. People believe in different things. People use different brand of beverages. Some people like Coke, some people like Pepsi. Do you get skeptical because they use different brand from you? Because you want them to use the same brand, right? So when they don't use the same brand, then you start to become skeptical. Why do they use that brand and not this brand? That's all. You don't understand that people have preferences. That's why we have so many religions. We have so many beliefs. So it's not for us to judge them. We just have to judge ourselves. Are you having the right belief or not? That's all that you have to worry about.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Next, Nanapat from Bangkok.
ค่ะนมัสการค่ะท่านอาจารย์ I don't have any question today ค่ะ
Kevin from Vancouver, Washington.
Hello, Sean. I don't have any questions today either. Thank you.
Okay. Next, Michael Weber. I think this is a newcomer. First time to see this name.
Yes.
Where you from? Where you from?
Hello. My name is Michael. I'm from Israel.
Israel. Okay. Any question from you?
Yes, I have two questions. I arrived last week to Thailand, and I finished the quarantine. And I want to ordain to be a Buddhist monk. First of all, I'm looking for a place. I wanted to ask for the first question, maybe what is the obstacles I can find in the beginning? What should I be careful about? what's more important and what's less important? Yeah, this is the first question.
About ordination.
What obstacles can I found, or what should I be careful?
Yourself is the main obstacle to your path. So you have to overcome yourself. So if you are committed, then you just plow right in and don't hesitate. If you hesitate, then this is your problem. So don't hesitate. If you think becoming a monk is the best thing for you, then you should just start looking for a place to ordain.
Yes. I wonder if I should go very deep, like all the way forcefully, kind of develop my meditation, or maybe do it gradually, not to run myself over, like doing it too much, and then I'll be exhausted, and then it'll be difficult.
You just have to know your strength. How many hours can you meditate a day? Then start from there and work up there. The goal is to be able to meditate all day, except the time you go to sleep. And when I say meditate, I don't mean just sitting. I mean either sitting or walking, doing anything. You should be constantly mindful. This is the first practice you need to develop, is mindfulness.
Okay. I have a second question. I don't know if it is acceptable, but because I'm in Thailand, I'm in Bangkok, I'm close. I understand I'm close to your temple. I wonder if I can visit the day after tomorrow. It will be possible, or I don't.
I think so. You're welcome to visit us, and if you like the place, you are welcome to stay for about 2 weeks. First.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to look at the place first, whether it suits you or not. If it suits you, you like to stay, you're welcome to stay temporarily first for 2 weeks. And if you like and everything works well, we might be able to extend for another 2 weeks and so forth.
Okay. So I'll be very happy. Thank you.
It will be nice if you come in the morning to the dining hall around 9.
9 o'clock.
Because that's when the monks are there, and they can then welcome you and get you a place to stay. If you come at other times, there might not be monks to greet you, to meet you, and you might find it difficult to find monks after the morning meal. So you can come around 9 or before, a little bit after, and you can probably find me also there in the dining hall. If you come tomorrow, I'll be in the dining hall tomorrow, or day after tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow.
Yeah, day after tomorrow. Yeah, I think I'll be at the dining hall. Then I can introduce you to one of the monks who will then look after you, show you a place to stay and what you have to do and so forth.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
If you want, you can email my assistant at assistant.ajarnsuchat@gmail.com. I think you can go into my website, phrasuchart.com, and go to the contact page, where then you can send an email if sometimes you change your schedule or something and you cannot come.
Okay. So
just in case you want to contact us by email.
So if something changed, I'll email, but if not, like this.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. But one thing, I think it will be difficult for Westerners or for any monks to ordain here, because I'm not the one who do the ordination. I'm not the abbot. Yeah. So if you want to ordain, I think what other monastery, especially the monastery of Ajahn Chah tradition, will be more easier for you to ordain in, like at Wat Mapjan or Wat Pa Nanachat International Monastery. There will be most Westerners or foreigners will be ordaining in those 2 places in Thailand.
Yeah, I'm soon planning to go to Wat Pa Kong Tong in
Yeah.
Udon.
Yeah, okay. But unfortunately, this monastery is not, because of the Albert, he doesn't speak English, and he's just somehow afraid of foreigners, I guess, and he didn't want to have anything to do with foreigners. So,
Okay.
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 But you are welcome to visit us and stay with us temporarily. Other than that, then if you want to plan long term, I think you have to look at some other monastery.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next, Kafai Lim from Malaysia.
Good day to you, Ajahn. I don't have a question for tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Philip and Adeline from Malaysia also.
Good evening, Panajan.
Good evening, Panajan.
I don't have any questions tonight.
No questions.
Hendrik, where are you from, Hendrik?
Ajahn, namaskar. I'm from Indonesia.
Do you have any question?
Yes, Ajahn. I would like to seek for advice, guidance. Usually, I always meditate with Anapanasati or along with Buddha. And then if I feel the Buddha is a bit heavy in the heart, is like controlling the breath, then I drop the Buddha and then I observe the breath, starting with observing whether it's in, knowing it's in or out, and then later observing whether it's long or short. Then after I have been practicing for, I think, 3 or 4 years, and if I ask myself if I progress much, then I will say not too much. Then I shall seek Ajahn guidance, Ajahn advice for me. If how should I, or as a layperson, or like a beginner, how do we gradually increase our practice, Ajahn? Thank you very much.
Well, when you sit, you should experience some changes in yourself. If your mind becomes calmer, more peaceful, then you are getting the result from the practice. And if you want more, you have to sit longer. And if you find that you could not sit longer, then you have to develop more mindfulness before you sit. Like, you can be mindful all day long by watching what your body is doing at every moment. Then don't let your mind go away from your body. Keep watching your body. And don't think about the past or the future. Just keep the mind in the present with the body's movement. If you can do this, when you meditate, you can sit longer. Or if you find that after you're sitting for a while and you feel like getting up, maybe you want to force yourself to sit longer by maybe recite a mantra to keep your mind occupied and then forget about wanting to get up. Then you might be able to push your mind to go longer and deeper in meditation. So you have to push. When you get to the limit, if you give up, then you'll be stuck there. If you want to go further, then you have to push it. Like after you sit in for 20 minutes and you say, oh, I want to get up. And say, well, if you get up, this is where you'll be stuck every time. If you want to go longer, then you have to start reciting a mantra, or if you can chant or do something mentally, just to keep your mind busy, and maybe you'll forget about wanting to get up. Then after a while, your mind might stop wanting to get up, and then you can continue on watching your breath again for a longer time. This is the only way to push yourself forward. You have to push yourself when you come to the limit, when you come to the boundary, and you say, if you want to advance, you have to go across the boundary of your ability.
Is it okay to use a timer that usually I sit 45 to 1 hour?
If you have some reason to do something at a certain time, then yes. But normally try not to use it because it can be a distraction to your practice. You keep worrying about the time and not being mindful of your breath.
Okay, Ajahn. One more thing, Ajahn. Is it okay that sometimes if we practice, we naturally we expect for some result, but it's not like always we expect. But after a long time, that hey, how come my practice is not progressing much? Is it okay to think like that?
Yes, you can expect, because when you do something, you expect to get paid, right? So expecting this is okay, but when you don't get it, you should not be disappointed. That's all. You just have to accept that this is what you get, because this is how much you can do so far. But so you might have to do some analyzing, see what's wrong with your practice. Are you doing it right or not? Are you doing enough of it or not? Then you want to correct the problem. That might be the problem. That might prevent you from getting the result. But expecting is okay, but don't get sad, disappointed, or mad when you don't get what you expect. You have to look at the cost. The cost that will give you the result. If the cost is not there, then the result won't appear.
Thank you, Ajahn. One more thing, one last thing.
Usually is your quality of your mindfulness. If your mindfulness is not continuous, then normally you won't be able to get much result. So you won't have to have continuous mindfulness.
Thank you, Ajahn. Do Ajahn have something to say about my technique?
Your technique is okay. Anapanasati is a good practice when you sit. But when you're not sitting, when you do walking meditation, you should use the body. Watch your body, like watch your footstep when you walk. Or if you are walking with something, doing something, then watch what you're doing.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you very much, Ajahn.
Okay. Next, Kwan Liman from Malaysia.
Prajan, yeah, I heard Prajan in the Facebook Live on Sunday mentioning life is not free. Life is full of bills to pay. Yeah, my question is about this. I quit my teaching job about 1.5 years ago, and I take the time to practice, and I feel contented with the simplicity and very peaceful within. So, but last week, a thought of still needing to pay the bills arises, and worries arises. Then I get back to the mindfulness and did sitting to calm down. And after that, I contemplate on anicca, dukkha, anatta. I told myself that I shouldn't let money control my practice, and I should use the time that I have to develop as much as possible. So if really needed, then maybe I can take up some part-time job later. So as soon as I think like this, the mind calms down, and gradually the mind is quiet again. But Prajan, I'd like to ask, what is Prajan advice if we face such obstacles that will hinder the practice?
That's because you don't want to choose the right option. See? The right option is to ordain, and you still refuse this. If you ordain, then you can be supported by the monastery. See? Then you don't have to worry about bills or making money. But you might have to pay indirectly by doing something for the monastery in return. But that's the only way for long-term practice, not to be encumbered with looking for money and spending money. Then you have to live a monastic life.
Is there a monastery that for male it would be very easy to ordain and just stay in any monastery, but how about for females?
Yeah, there are quite a lot. You just have to look around. So search in the internet for from where there are monastery where there are women ordained living. There are some in Thailand, there are exclusive monastery for women. And there are also monastery where there are monks, but they also have a section for women to live and practice also. But you just have to search and ask people.
How about in Wat Yan?
One year, unfortunately, they only let women stay temporarily for 2 weeks. That's all. Because they don't have the long-term facility. But there are other monasteries in this province. I heard this one called something. Nanapat might know, and she might point you to it. Samnak Mechi in Chonburi. Kun La might know something, and she asked the woman. I think the woman practitioner, they know places that you can check out. I'll let Kun La or people who know send you some messages for you to read.
I just turn on the chat already.
Yes,
Yes,
the chat is open. So.
Oh, okay. I'll check later because I'm using the handphone. I couldn't see the messages. Thank you.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Prajan.
You're welcome. Karen from San Jose. Any question or any comment?
No, good morning, Tanajan. I'm just glad to be here and everyone's asking the questions that I need answers to, so I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Then let me go to Johanna from Indonesia.
Good evening, Ajahn. I don't have question for right now. I'm just listening.
Dek Yenso from Penang, Malaysia.
So far, no questions. Listening tonight.
Okay. Go to Obeka Alfredo from Brazil.
Hi, Bante.
How are you? Good?
Good, okay, thanks. Bhavana.
Bhavana, all the time.
Yes, all time.
Okay. You don't go out to movies, to any places? You stay home most of the time?
More home.
Yeah.
More
Meditate,
home.
Bhavana.
Yes. I am, my friends is I fasted a little.
Okay.
Not very commitment with my friends. Only resolve problems only.
Yes, good. It's better to stay alone. To be alone is the best for practitioner, Dhamma practitioner. The Buddha recommends no socializing with anybody.
Yes.
Because it can disturb your mind.
Yes. They only want to divertment, to joke, to what's in English, to play, ne?
Yeah.
Like child.
Yeah. Because their mind is not calm, their mind is not peaceful, so they need something to do to get themselves occupied.
Yes.
But when you are calm, you don't want to involve with anybody. When your mind is calm and peaceful, you want to be alone.
Yes.
Okay, you're good. You're doing good. Keep doing it, okay?
Oh, thanks, Bante.
All right.
Good days.
Okay. Next, Gary from Singapore.
Good evening, Tanajan. I have no questions. Thank you.
Okay, Monica from Malaysia.
Good evening, Tanajan.
Yes, can hear you perfectly.
Okay. Actually, I still want to ask about the question which I asked on Sunday regarding how to apply fire to burn the body. Normally, is this done when we experience extreme pain during a sitting meditation?
Yeah, usually you have to have pain first in the body. Then you imagine that pain to be like fire burning your body. And just keep imagining and maybe creating the fire to be bigger and bigger and eventually cover your whole body, but eventually burn your body into ashes. And you're just merely looking at this image of your body burning. And if you can keep doing this, when the body eventually collapses, then you feel that the whole body is being sucked into the ground, to the floor where you're sitting. And you feel that your body is part of the earth. And your mind is separate from the body. Your mind will become peaceful and quiet.
Okay.
Okay.
So in this position, do we imagine the body to be lying down or sitting, still sitting?
Sitting.
Still
You're sitting, right? You're sitting.
Okay.
You just imagine that the pain in your buttock is burning your body. The pain on your legs or wherever the pain is, just imagine it to be like fire burning the body. And then start to get bigger and bigger and start to envelop the whole body until the body eventually burn the body down to ashes. And then it collapses, the whole body will seem like collapsing and becoming part with the floor that you sit.
Okay. So normally this type of method will only be applicable for those who sit very long, isn't it?
Well, you have to have a strong mindfulness, and not and some mindfulness and equanimity, and not to be disturbed by the painful feeling that you are watching at the moment.
Okay, all right. Because I try to apply not during meditation, and I find the mind not reactive to this method.
Yeah, if you cannot use it, don't try. This is just something that for you to know, and maybe now is not the time yet. If you cannot, if your mindfulness is not strong enough and your equanimity is not strong enough, you might not be able to do it.
I think I will apply it.
Because this is almost on the level of vipassana.
Okay, yeah. Previously, I had extreme pain during vipassana session, but that was a long time ago. I suppose when I do that, I will try to apply this method.
Yeah.
Because every time I give up when the pain becomes too intense.
Yes, you lose your equanimity. You start to react. You have an aversion for the pain. So you want to run away. You want to stop. You want to move your body.
Okay, all right. This will be a very good method to remember.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's all. Thank you, Tanajan.
Sri and Jack from Vancouver, Canada, British Columbia. You're part of the British Empire.
I don't even know where the history of the name come from. Ajahn, you said something so powerful just now about the biggest obstacle is yourself. Wow, it's
Who else can approach you but yourself, right?
Yeah, but it's still like, yeah, for me, the answer is really powerful. That's so true. Yeah, I have to keep that in mind. Not to give excuses.
Any question from Sri?
Tan Ajahn, like in some of the suttas, like Buddha said, some of the things like we have to do by endurance. How to do it, like by endurance, like
Endurance, like when you going through hardship, don't give up.
okay, and mindfulness is the
Mindfulness is the key for you to go through hardship. You come to face with hardship, then if your mind start to become agitated or restless, then you just use Bhutto to stop your mind from being restless or agitated. Then when your mind becomes calm, then everything will be okay. Everything will not be so hard anymore. Only hard because you don't want to face it. When you can stop this aversion, then you can face anything. And you use mindfulness or wisdom, one way or the other, one or the other. If you use wisdom, you say, well, when it's snow, there's no way of running away from it. You have to face the snow.
have to shower snow. Okay, that's again like going back how to overcome obstacle as well, like yeah, okay, some of the things have to be endure. Okay.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, so Tan Ajahn, and in other sutta, like for example, Buddha said, like we develop like mindfulness, right, as one of the enlightenment factors, and then like the sutta go to investigate or dharma, then raise energies, then go and create like the 4 jhanas. So should we like kind of rearrange, like from mindfulness we go to samadhi, right? And then samadhi, then we come out and investigate the dharma. Is that the correct order?
Yes, that's why I've been telling you all this many times already.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because when I read the sutta and then they put like the sutta put like investigate of dharma, like right after mindfulness. So I was thinking, then go to jhana.
You cannot arrange the sutta because the practice and the sutta may not be in the same order. Normally, you need mindfulness to get to ubekkha first. But the ubekkha you get to by mindfulness is the temporary ubekkha. Then you want to change a temporary ubekkha into permanent ubekkha by using wisdom, investigation, and the Dhamma. And in order to do this, you need energy. You have to be diligent. You cannot be lazy. If you're lazy, then you don't get anything done.
Oh, okay.
But if you don't practice, you don't know how this factor works. It's like if you don't study the mechanic of an automobile, you don't know how all these parts of the automobile work. You can read there's steering wheel, there's brake, there's gears, but you don't know how they work. You have to study. You have to learn. So just study the sutta just to give you a roadmap, really. And this is why you need an experienced teacher to tell you the order of practice.
Okay. Yeah.
When you do a DIY, sometimes you do things wrong. Then you get things done. But if you go ask someone who already done it before, they say, "Oh, you have to do this first, not before that." So you cannot be without an experienced teacher, really, unless you are really clever, unless you are really smart and can figure out which comes first and which, or else you don't know. See, that's why you need to be with a teacher, experienced teacher, not a scholastic teacher. Scholastic teacher can mislead you and get you into confusion. You need to study with an enlightened teacher. In case of Buddhism, enlightened means he's experienced.
Yeah. Yeah. that was my questions. Yeah.
That's so exactly what you hit the. I used to just study the sutta and be with scholastic teacher, and I got more and more confused. But then, when we met you point out all like the correct order and it's totally different.
If not, we don't know how to practice.
I
right?
go around and around the sutta. But you exactly.
Most of the thing has been clear. Just practice.
Okay. Any more questions? That's all for now.
No more DIY, Ajahn.
DIY. Dhamma is not DIY. You need a teacher. Unless you are a Buddha. The Buddha himself was a DIY person. He did it all by himself, Everybody else needs a teacher. Everybody who became enlightened had a teacher to teach them to become enlightened.
Well, it's good. There's a store in Malaysia called DIY, I believe. Now when I see the DIY, I remember the Buddha. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Maybe you should recommend the shop to have the logo of the Buddha. You see. Okay, next Sativa from Virginia. Oh, no, I'm sorry, from Maryland, from Silver Spring. Still must be very cold for you.
Keeping in I have a question that I think got partly answered, that while doing the walking meditation, you watching your body, in this case becomes watching your steps. I thought about another question, that there is a huge proliferation of this guided meditation for years and years now. In your opinion, what does that do for the practitioner, so to speak?
What is the purpose of group practice?
No, the guided meditation.
Yeah, guided, because when you go on a tourist, trip, you need a guide, right? Because you don't know where to go. So this is pretty much the same thing, guided meditation. People don't know how to meditate, so they need a guide. They cannot do it DIY, so they need a teacher.
But isn't that like when you're doing the meditation practice, isn't that like an interference, because an external speaker is speaking and intermittently and interjecting things? Is that a constructive process? That's what I wonder, really.
For beginners, when they cannot do it by themselves, then they need somebody to guide them. Like children, when they're young, they need someone to guide. They need parents to guide them. But once they have become grown-ups, then they can do it by themselves. So when you first start and you don't know what to do or how to do it or when to do it, then you go and take a retreat, a meditation retreat, for instance. And they have instructor to tell you, get up at 4 o'clock, chanting at 5, eating at 6, walking meditation at 7, and so forth. So you got a program for you, arranged for you. So you don't have to think, what am I supposed to do next, right? That's all. But once you start to know how to do it, then eventually you want to be alone. You want to do it alone because it's more flexible, more convenient to your need, because you might need to do more walking rather than sitting, for instance. If you follow the program, then you say, it's not good for you. So when you first started, you might need, if you cannot do it on your own, then you might need a group practice to get you started. But once you know what you really have to do is mindfulness and meditation, then you can then be on your own. But you still need someone who had experience to guide you, or but he doesn't have to be with you with your practice. Like you can come here and ask questions when you have come to a point where you don't know what to do next with your practice. And you might want to ask someone, what am I supposed to do? Now I get samadhi. What should I investigate first, and so forth.
So the once again could you just say a few words about that? What does it mean to be observing your body? Like whatever you're doing, what does that mean? Like you say in the morning you brush your teeth. That means I should be doing just focusing on the brushing. Means how can you kind of push away the thinking completely and engage in the action that you're doing in the moment? And it can vary, right? It can be actual work or something. So how do I make the body as I'm going to observe my own body as a part of the meditation process?
You just have to do it. When you're first starting, your mind might be going back and forth. You cannot force it to stop thinking right away. But you try to just keep focused on what you're doing, and your concentration and your focus can become stronger and stronger. And then eventually your thought will stop running away from what you are doing. That's another additional way to increase your mindfulness is you can use a mantra along with what you do at the same time. When you're brushing your teeth, and you can also keep reciting a mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto. So you have two ropes to pull your mind in instead of one. If you just keep watching your breath, watching what you do, then you only have one rope. But if you use the mantra, then you have two ropes to pull your mind in, not to let your mind go away from what you do. Try it. You have to do this thing, and you'll understand. Talking about it will not give you the picture. You have to do it. It's like tasting something. You have to taste it to find out what it tastes like. No matter how much you explain, it doesn't give you the real thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Dhammatalk. Thank you.
Next, Alvin. Always a different name on the screen here. Hand.
Sorry, Ajahn, my daughter's name. I don't have any question, Ajahn. Just this.
Okay. Then I go to B. Ravin Chinnapon from Bangkok.
Good evening, Tanajan. I really like your statement just now regarding DIY. I will never see it the same again. There will always be a picture of an enlightened Buddha that will pop up in my head whenever I see DIY. But it is true because, as you mentioned, he is the only one who was able to achieve enlightenment all by himself. So that's really powerful.
Okay. You have any question?
Yes, I have a question regarding meditation. So would like to ask Tanajan, how do I use death as an object of meditation, and is there any benefits of using death instead of mindfulness of breathing?
Yes, you can look at a corpse and then use that as an object of your meditation. Thinking of a corpse. You can use any type of corpse, 1 day corpse, 2 day corpse, or 10-day corpse. Like the 10 stages of corpse in the Satipatthana Sutta. You just use any one of the images. If you want to use it for samadhi. If you want to use it for wisdom, then you progress from the first to the last, to see the process of dissolution of the body. So this is death, right? Death is a dead body. Is what it is. What else you want to think of death? Death is the death of your body. Right?
Oh, my understanding was mindfulness of death, marana anusati. Is that?
That's right. Marana, everything. When death comes, then everything stops, right? Everything comes to everything that you do stop, right? Once you die, you don't have to work. You don't have to eat. You don't have to. You don't have to pay bills. You don't have to pay taxes. What better than death? I mean, look at the positive side of death. But this is not what I meant. But I mean that when you think of death, you mean that whatever you're craving for or desiring for will no longer be possible. So this is a way of getting slow down or stop your defilement. Sometimes you think, oh, I want to be a millionaire, so I have to plan how to do it and so forth. And then you suddenly think, what happened if you die today or tomorrow? Or maybe after you get the $1 million and you happen to die. So what's the point, right? This is another way of using death. And when you are still not meditating, when you start to worry about things like, what's going to happen tomorrow, or what's going to happen with the virus and so forth. And when you think, well, eventually you're going to die anyway, then why is there to worry about? The worst could happen is, or you already know the outcome, right? The worst that can happen to you is death, and it's going to happen. So why would you worry about any other thing, which is not as severe as death? So you can use for different purposes, but normally just to calm your defilement, calm your mind. Sometimes people make plans, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. If I have a company, I want to expand it, or whatever. This is because they never think of death. If they ever one moment think of that, they might say, what should I be doing all these things for? In the end, I'm going to lose everything anyway. So may it be better just to live comfortably and be happy without having to struggle so hard. Just have enough to eat. Life can be much simpler and easier than trying to set up a goal and then try to go after it. Then it also can teach you, maybe you are setting the wrong goal. Your goal should not be about material things. Your goal should be about spiritual things, like Nibbana, for instance. Maybe then you say, oh, maybe then I should start doing something about this, rather than worrying about material things, because material things you cannot have it forever, right? But with spiritual thing, once you have it, you can keep it forever with you. So this can also deter your thought about going after material things and push you toward more spiritual things. So it depends on how you how you want to use it for. If you meditate, then you can just looking at a corpse and then try to imagine that corpse in your as your meditation object. Especially your own body. This is the best. And eventually you're gonna die, right? And think about when you die, what happens? You just become like a mannequin lying down, stiff. Just imagine that picture in your mind. It might calm your mind and get you into samadhi. Who knows? But some of these objects is too hard for people who without equanimity to take. Even mentioning about that is too much for them already. They won't be sitting here discussing this conversation because they find it morbid, they find it sad, they find it scary or whatever. But if you can listen to this subject, then it means you have a strong mind. You have some equanimity. That's why Buddha said, with meditation objects, it depends on your preference, which means on the level of your equanimity, how much you can take the real stuff. Asupa, and that is the hardest. So people with weak mind, they like to use the mantra and say like Bhutto, Bhutto, or Anapanasati, the breath. But with people with strong equanimity, they like to use the hard stuff because they get more result from they kill more defilement with the death and asupa. Okay.
Yes, I was just trying, because the reason I asked is because you've mentioned very often about seeing the body as impermanent, as suffering, as non-self. So I was trying to relate, in order to be able to see it that way, I thought if I could use death to kind of induce that thought, to manifest more in my mind, it would help me to see that more clearly.
Death is a reminder of the truth. When every time you think of death, you're thinking of the truth that we try to avoid thinking about. Because if we do, then a whole perspective in life will change. From dreaming of building a family, building this and building that, when you suddenly think of death, then it kind of cause all this imagination to crumble. Then it will lead you to the spiritual path. Once you see that the path of the material will lead you to a what you call, and I can't think of the word, to an ending doesn't get you anywhere. Then you start to look at the spiritual path. Maybe this is the path to go, the spiritual path. The spiritual path will lead you to sublime happiness. While the material path will lead you to sorrow and suffering in the end. At the end. So it's a very useful tool to use in many different ways. It's just a matter how you can apply it. So you have to try it.
So it will help us to stay
it will help you let go of a lot of attachment for sure. If you attach to your family, you say, well, when death comes, you're going to be separated from them. Or if death comes to them, then they'll be separated from you. when death comes, then you'll be separated by everything that you own.
Yes.
And it might make you become less attached to things and people. And also less relying on them, less dependent on them, because you know they cannot be be always dependent. They're not always reliable. So you will then rely more on yourself, which you can always rely on, because you and yourself is always together, never separate. Me and myself.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is. So this would, if I apply this correctly and in the right way, it should help to reduce my fear of death. Is that right?
Yes, because you cannot run away from it. So then you will have to confront it and accept it. Now you accept everything else. When you accept things that you have aversion for, once you have, when you can do that, then you won't have any fear or sadness or suffering. But sometimes your mind will not want to reflect and think about it, because you find that you feel bad, so you stop. This is because you don't have enough equanimity yet. So you have to come back to mindfulness again and get more equanimity before you can then think of the truth. The first noble truth: birth, aging, sickness, and death.
Suffering.
Yeah.
So being born is suffering, because being born means you have to die.
Yes, and also you have to make a living. That's harder than dying, right? Dying is simple, but living is hard. Dying is easy. Ask anybody which one is easier, living or dying. But we want to live, we don't want to die. That's the problem.
It seems to contradict the truth.
Yeah. If you're willing to die, then living is easy, because you're ready to die anytime. So if you cannot live, then you die. If you don't want to die, then living is very hard.
That is very true. Yes. There's only two options.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to study this to find out our position, where we are. See? And our position is that we have no choice. Aging, sickness, and death is our option that we have to take one day or later, sooner or later. See, most people don't want to accept this truth that we have no choice. We have to take these things. If we can accept this, and then there will be no suffering, there will be no conflict. The problem is we don't want to accept this thing that's going to happen to our body. That's causing the sufferings. It's not the aging, sickness, or death of the body that causes the suffering. It is our aversion to this truth. So we want to teach the body, the mind, that this is something that we have to accept. Once we can accept it, embrace it, then there will be no suffering.
It's very true indeed, Tanajan.
That's why you have to think of this thing. Because if you don't think, then you are constantly rejecting the truth. But the more you think about it, then the more acceptance you start to give to yourself. And then eventually say, well, But things happen, and it's going to happen to everybody, not just you. Everybody has to get old, get sick, and die. So what's so bad about that?
Yes, happens to everyone.
All right.
Yeah. Yes, very, very clear, Tanajan. Thank you very much for your teachings.
Okay. Next, Belinda from Singapore.
Hello, Tanajan. No questions.
No question. Okay. Evie from Indonesia.
Yeah, Ajahn, Namo Buddhaya. Ajahn, I want to think about regarding that, Ajahn explained.
Can you speak a little bit louder, please?
Yeah. Ajahn can hear me now?
Yes, good now.
Yeah. Regarding about that, Ajahn explained earlier. When we are nearing death, of course, we feel pain. Maybe it's very painful. And Vedana plays an active role in this and affects sanya, sankara, vijnana. How can one still feel calm when the pain comes?
By practicing, you do it now. By sitting and face the pain. When you meditate, when your body becomes painful, just teach your mind to embrace the pain, not to have any aversion to it. Accept it. Stay with it. Live with it. By meditation, by mindfulness, by wisdom.
And when the pain is very painful, I just hold on. Just like that, Ajahn.
Well, you just have to practice, until your mind stop having any aversion for pain. Then the pain will not disturb your mind.
Because I always, after 1/2 hour, I change my leg.
Okay. It means you have aversion for pain. You don't want it.
Yeah, I
You
change
want to
my
get rid of
leg.
it.
I just tell myself, tomorrow try again lah. Change first.
Yeah, because one day you will come to a point where you cannot get rid of the pain. What you're gonna do then?
So I must try 1 hour, 40 minutes, and tomorrow 1 hour, 50 minutes, just like that, Ajahn. Must hold the pain.
Not the time. It's just what you need is to calm your mind using mindfulness, like Bhutto, 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 and leave the pain alone. And once the mind becomes calm, then you might not need to sit for many hours. Once you know how to calm your mind in face of pain, then you can just keep every time you run into pain, then you use the same method.
And this meditation this morning, I felt again the face of the Buddha, Ajahn. My face becomes slowly like the face of Buddha, then merge, but it couldn't for be long. Maybe because I feel the joy that, and it makes me get out of here again. Shouldn't I feel happy when I feel this, Ajahn? Because I always get out when I feel happy.
So what?
And maybe when I feel happy, there is a rise happy feeling, and the mind start to moving, and I come out from this comfortable condition.
Then you should go back in again. If you want to be happy, then you go back in again.
And I go back in again, and I feel happy. I come out again, Ajahn.
Then you go back in again.
Oh, just like
keep going back.
Going back is not easy, Ajahn, because I lost the connection. When we are come out, we cannot find that connection. It's very hard to find. Sometimes can find, but sometimes cannot.
Then you are doing it blindly. If you're doing not blindly, then you know how to get in.
Must try. Practice make perfect, alright, Ajahn?
Yes, you have to know how you get in. Once you know it, then every time you want to get in, then you can always go back in.
And I feel the energy pressure, energy tension in the body during meditation is very helpful to always be aware of the existence of my body at all time. Even though I know meditation, the body is always here because of that tension. Is this correct, Ajahn?
I don't know. You have to ask yourself.
Yeah, because it's made me always remember this body because of this tension, and this tension is always arise when I'm meditating.
Okay. I don't know how you practice, so I cannot comment on what you say. Because I only teach mindfulness. If you don't use mindfulness, I don't know how to answer your question.
Yeah, sometimes it make me have two ways, anapanasati or the body tension. So sometimes when I want just a body tension. So I just anapanasati, but the body like has a tension who always make me always with this body. This body is always existence here, sitting here. And when I back to anapanasati, yeah, it make me more easy to calm. The body make me more easy to calm.
Okay, then
Maybe
do
is
it.
that all right?
Just keep doing it. Whichever method that makes your mind calm, then that's the method you should use.
Yeah, because the body makes me my mind not going everywhere. The mind always with this body, not come out. So I feel more easier to calm. Maybe
Okay.
it's correct way, Ajahn.
I don't know. It might be correct for you. I cannot vouch for you. Everybody has their own way of doing it. So I didn't do it this way, so I cannot say correct or not correct.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Ajahn. But the most important is our mind not going everywhere.
That's right.
Right, Ajahn.
Your mind should be peaceful and calm and not thinking.
Yeah, Ajahn. Okay, Ajahn, thank you.
And have equanimity.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can make me calm. Okay, Ajahn.
Right. Good. Michael Weber, you have another question?
I'm sorry, it was disconnected. It was.
I see. Okay.
Sorry.
No question.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, looks like everybody in the room has a chance to ask questions. Now I think it's time for the Facebook people who's watching on Facebook and YouTube. If they have any question, please go ahead.
Now we have 5 questions,ท่านอาจารย์. First question from Yato. Namaste, Ajahn. Can you explain what is the characteristic of the jhana and how many levels of the jhana? Thank you.
I think this is best answered by reading the scripture. You just search for jhana in Google and they'll give you all the characteristics of the jhana. I don't know, I don't remember the details. I only know the 4th jhana. The 4th jhana is that you have equanimity and peace. And the other jhanas, I don't know.
And next question from Tony Yap. Dearท่านอาจารย์, good evening. I have a question. The question is about when Asatapana Ariya passed away. In the next life, he or she can continue practice the Pavana until reach Arahant. My question is how he or she can continue until reach Arahant for the next life, because Buddha teaching is everything is impermanent. Even our 5 khandha in this life is not same as past life. So how come it can continue practice Pavana until to reach Arahant? Because different khandha and no self. Can Ajahn explain in detail? Thank you.
Well, the mind is the same mind. The mind who has learned how to become a Sotapanna will know how to become the next 3 levels of noble disciples. So it's the same mind. It's like a student who has graduated with a bachelor degree. He knows how to study for masters and PhD.
And there's two questions from Hung Lun. The first question is, in Tula Malang Yovada Sutta, it says that after death, a Tathagata or Buddha doesn't exist. In Ajahn book named Real Happiness, page 8, Ajahn said it is enough to know one thing. The Buddha still exists and has not gone anywhere. It is just that we cannot communicate with him where he is. Luang Ta Mahabua also still exists. His mind still exists. What Ajahn said seems to differ from the sutta. Could Ajahn explain it? Is mind eternal? Thank you.
So the mind exists, but the conventional name of the mind disappear, like the name of Siddhartha or Buddha no longer exists. Yeah. But the mind, the one who knows, the one who thinks, still exists. So when I die, Ajahn Suchat also does no longer exist, because this is only based on the body, right? Once the body dies, then Ajahn Suchat is dead. But the mind of Ajahn Suchat still exists. Just like your mind and my mind right now. When the body dies, then the name that you have with your body dies with the body. But the mind doesn't take that name with him, see, or her. When he takes the new body, then he gets a new name, right? You didn't take your own name with you when you were born, right? When your mother said, "Oh, you should be John," you said, "No, I want to be Frank," because it was Frank, You cannot do that, because Frank was already dead in past life, and you get a new body and you become John, okay? So this is what it means by the conventional personality of the body as associating with the mind. The mind always remains to be the one who knows and the one who thinks, that's all. When there's no body, then it doesn't think as Ajahn Suchat or as Frank or John anymore. It just thinks as a thinker or a knower.
And the second question from Hung Lun is, in the middle of meditation, my leg pain suddenly is gone. My feeling was neutral. Sexual desire didn't arise and no 5 hindrances. I told my mind that I want to see my past life, but nothing happened. So I exit my meditation since I was in a neutral state and there was nothing to do there. Previously, I aimed to subdue the pain during my meditation. Now the pain is gone. I have nothing to do. I need something to motivate me to continue the meditation. My question is how to motivate myself to carry on the breathing meditation from that moment on. Thank you.
Well, you don't know that when your mind is neutral, that's the happiest state the mind can be in. Maybe you haven't yet actually experienced that true neutral state yet. It's just maybe an imagined neutral state that you are imagining. Because if you ever enter into the true neutral state of mind, you'll find the highest form of happiness. And you don't want to leave there. You want to stay there for as long as possible. So from what you say, then I think it's not the real neutral state of mind. Maybe it's just an imagined state of mind. You think you are neutral. And then you feel that there's nothing here to do. Then it means you are thinking and you're not truly neutral. Because if you're truly neutral, you're not thinking. You're not desiring, you're not thinking, looking for something to do. Because what else do you need to do when you're so happy? Yeah. When you're happy, do you want to do anything? You don't want to do anything, right? You want to stay in the state of happiness for as long as possible. So I think you're not in the true neutral state of mind yet.
And 2 more questions, Thanachan. Question from Singh. Good evening, Prajan. Understanding Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta through direct experience, not book knowledge. experiencing, there is only doing, no doer. Is this breaking the identity view? Thank you.
Well, identity is just a label you place on each object, like your body. You place object on your own body as me. You place another label on another person by he or she and so forth. These are, and you are so deluded to think that these are the real things. But the real thing is there's just a knower, just a thinker. That's all. So if we can know that there's no John, no he or she, no, they're just bodies. Then you are breaking the identity view.
And the last question from Tae Ing Hua. Is consciousness permanent? And how can one study the consciousness? Thank you.
Consciousness is part of the mind's functions. The mind has four different functions called nama khandas, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, and Vijnana. And these things go with the mind, stay with the mind. They never destroy. Even after death, they still have the four nama khandas, still go with the mind. It's part of the mind. And consciousness, which is vijnana, is one of the four functions. So they always exist with the mind. And when they have a body, then the consciousness then will start to work again. Because in order for the mind to be connected to the body, it needs the consciousness of vijnana to connect to the five sensual organs of the body.
And one more question, Thanachan, from Tony Yap. Dear Thanachan, good evening. Is this mindfulness also anicca and anatta? Thank you.
We don't worry about this thing. We worry whether we have it or not. So don't worry about whether it's anicca or anatta. Just worry about whether you have mindfulness or not have mindfulness. That's the goal of practice, is to have mindfulness. If you don't have mindfulness, try to develop it and have it, keep it with you. Don't worry about whether it's anicca or anatta. Mindfulness is not a subject that we want to apply anicca, dukkha, anatta with.
That's all, Thanachan.
Okay. Okay, anybody else? Second round? Light drinks. We finished with the first round. Now we have second round. Evie. Evie again? Okay.
Always me, Ajahn. Ajahn, I want to ask again about explanation earlier. After the Arahant or Buddha died, his soul is still existent, but doesn't look for a new body anymore. Does this mean that the soul of Arahant or Buddha is disperses in all directions and can hear and know us when we imagine or pray to them?
Normally, I don't think so. They only for some exceptional case, if they might want to connect with some mind, they can do that. If that particular mind has the ability to connect with other mind.
And our departed ancestor also like this, Ajahn?
Some of them, if they have special ability, then they can connect with other mind, living with a body or without a body. They can connect with each other.
But I hear explanation about somebody when he or she die, he will look for a new body again. And how about our grandmother, our grandfather? Is how we know that they still not reborn?
If you
because
have the ability, then you know. If you don't, you don't know. But this is not important to know.
mm,
What's
yeah,
important to know is whether you still have defilement or not. That's more
yeah,
important.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's true.
Don't worry about other
Yeah,
things. Just worry about the defilement. Do I still
yeah,
have
yeah,
greed? Do I still have hatred? Do I still have delusion? That's all you
yeah,
need
it's
to know.
true.
Don't try to
Yeah,
be sidetracked by your defilement. Your defilement doesn't want you to know these three things.
yeah, Ajahn.
Your
Okay.
defilement wants you to know about all the things, like the world,
Yeah.
the universe, the planets and the stars, you know.
And then grandfather and grandmother who
Yeah,
is already
this is the working of the defilement. They want to pull you away from knowing the three defilements. That's all.
yeah,
Because once you know the three defilements and you can get rid of it, then the defilement will not be happy when you get rid of them. See? So they will try to do in the possible way that to prevent you from knowing them. They don't want you to know them. Because,
drag me away from them, yeah, Ajahn.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
Okay.
Okay, Ajahn. Yeah.
Next, anybody?
Charles.
Charles. Okay, Charles.
Ajahn, I have a question about renunciation, the 10 perfection. I think for a monk, the practice is quite straightforward. For the householder, I just wondering how much and how far we should give up in order to practice renunciation, Ajahn.
Renunciation. Well, see, it depends on the percentage of renunciation you want to do. 20%, 50%, 100%. The more renunciation you do, the more time you will have for practice. That's the purpose of renunciation, to give you more time to practice. So if you want to practice 100%, then you have to do 100% renunciation. Like give up your lay life and go live in a monastery and become a monk.
Okay, but this is time management. But how about the house, the luxury car, the Benz, Mercedes, and good food, like entertainment, like that?
Yes, they all take up your time. So if you have them, then you have to look after them. So if you don't have them, then you don't have to look after them.
So that means it depends on the individual how much they can, how far they go, how much.
Yeah, how much they want really, how much spiritual development they want.
And more is better.
How much they're willing to give up.
Yeah,
how much they're willing to give up.
Oh, okay. That means it's not really compulsory, right, for a householder to give up everything, right? Maybe step by step, maybe depend on individual. They still can practice.
Individual have different way of doing it.
The ongoing they practice and then they adjust themselves step by step.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I understand, Ajahn. Thank you.
I think you should look at the Buddha as your idol.
I try to reduce a lot of things already.
You have to follow it. You have to follow his example.
Yeah. Yes, the one thing I told my wife is that the Buddha, he got a wife, he got a kid, he got the parents, he got the position, he gave up everything. For me, I just running to the meditation center from time to time. It's not that much.
Because you still miss them, so you still need them.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Next, anybody?
More question from Facebook.
Facebook, okay.
One more question, Thanachan, from Aseng. Prajaan, is it necessary for Sotapanna to experience the state beyond mind and matter, or is it to be experienced by the fully liberated only? Thank you.
No, Sotapanna experienced the release from the three fetters. Yeah. The fetters of having wrong view concerning the five khandhas, and having doubt, release from doubt in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and release from the rites and rituals, practices that serve no purpose. That doesn't get rid of any dukkha. That's all Sotapanna is capable of. It doesn't matter whether he has this other knowledge or not. It's not important.
That's all ท่านอาจารย์
That's all. Okay. Anybody would like to ask? Please go ahead. We still have quite a lot of time. Almost 20 minutes, 23 minutes.
Okay. I have a
Okay,
question.
Michael, go ahead.
I have a question. Sometimes I feel like in the Four Noble Truths, the second one is the suffering is because of tanha, like desire, and sometimes they say that that to get like the job is the task is to get rid of greed, hatred, and delusion. So sometimes I feel like when I do the practice, the heart is getting better, but like tanha, it is two different. I feel like sometimes like two different things, meaning, yeah, like that. I wonder if, like, yeah, this is the question.
Again, please, I don't understand your question.
I feel sometimes that like purifying the heart is it's different from like get to let go of desire, and I think I maybe answered myself right now. So okay, I think it's okay.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
that's fine.
Charles,
Okay,
you go
Michael,
ahead.
Charles again. Charles.
Yes, I have a question because I don't want to ask too much because the other people may have questions. Since nobody asked question, I want to ask one more questions about the defilement, about the so-called sleeping defilement. The defilement really deep inside us. Could be this life, could be because of previous life. So I think about how to find those things, right? How to find our defilement. So my experience, if I go meditation, if I go deeper, maybe I can feel something. If I go deeper, I will find the defilement. Good, is it? The question is, if we meditate, go deeper and deeper, we are able to find our discover our defilement. Is it like that, Ajahn?
You don't need to go deeper. Right now, your defilements all over the place for you to catch.
Yes,
you
that
catch
is
this thing
obvious one.
first. You catch this one first before you worry about the other ones that you cannot see.
I see the defilement is at a conscious level, just like now we can aware, right? We know we action. After that, we do something really emotional. After that, we know, oh, this is too emotional. But there's some defilement it's deep inside us. We don't know when, how they will come out. So we
You have to get rid of the more obvious one first before you can see the less obvious one.
Okay,
don't worry about those. Get rid of the one on the surface first before you go deeper.
Are they exist?
Oh yeah, they are more subtle and they're more refined. They are harder to see.
Okay, I understand. So they exist, but the priority is to deal with those we are aware of. You know, we already know.
Get rid of the 5 hindrances first. The 5 hindrances. These are the defilement.
Yes, obviously we need to do that. Otherwise, we cannot meditate. Yeah.
Yeah. Before you can go to the deeper one are the fetters.
Yeah.
The first the 5 hindrances. Then once you get rid of 5 hindrances, then your mind can go deeper into the fetters. Okay, you can start getting rid of the 10 fetters.
Okay, step by step. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Kwan Liman. Okay, Kwan Liman. Go ahead. Unmute your microphone.
Prajan, just now Prajan explained that Sotapanna has released from the 3 factors. How about fear of death? Is it considered one of the?
Yes, Death because he understands the nature of the body. That is anicca dukkha anatta. And he accept this and see that the body isn't him. He is the mind. And the body is just the servant of the mind. So when the body dies, the mind doesn't die with the body. The master doesn't die with the servant.
Thank you.
And he cannot prevent the death of the body. The death of the body will happen regardless of whether you like it or not. So it's better to like it, because when you like it, then you don't get hurt. It's only when you don't like it that's when you get hurt.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Rajan.
Right.
We have Jessica.
Hello, hello,
Okay,
Thanajan.
Jessica, where are you now? In America or back in Thailand?
I am back where I belong.
So fast, you only been there away for just a few weeks. Yeah?
My body left for America, but I was actually still in Thailand. So it was interesting. It was very interesting, but it's not for me. So I think being in Thailand is most suitable for this path, Thanajan.
Yes, if you're on a spiritual path, then Thailand is quite
Yes, I
a
could
good
feel
place
it.
for it.
Yes, I could feel it. Over there was a lot of material happiness, but
That's right.
I did not see myself in it. It was interesting. It was very interesting to see it, to go back there, but it's happiness that is momentary, and I knew it was not for me. It was not for me.
And happiness with anxiety and worry also.
Anxiety, depression, a lot of problems underneath it all. So I came back to Thailand, and I remember that the main reason why I came back here was because I wanted to be closer to my spiritual path. So along the way, I thought going there, working there, it's outside. Everything it's outside. It's not outside. It should be inside. So I came back and I thought about it, what was very important to me. So, and I got the answer. There was no thinking when I received this answer. It said that I would rather die in Thailand, So I would rather die in Thailand under the Bodhi tree. Over there, I don't think there's any. So I'd be happy if you know a place for me here in Thailand. So
you can plant a tree in your house.
Right.
When
I was thinking about that as well. But I do have a question for you though. When I view the outside reality, it's everything is in form, Thanajan. It's not there's no emotions anymore. It's just like stillness, and like I see that there is no attachment to anything, and sometimes I think, oh, it's a bit scary, but it's in Thai you call it the delusion reality, the illusion, and actually I see it that I'm no different than the fan that's in my room.
yes, your body is just material things, just like
Yes.
everything else.
Just
Your
like
body.
everything else. So whatever I see, it's like I'm no different from whatever is in front of me. But this is not me. This is really not me. And so I'm I'm seeing it, not just seeing it, but it knows it. And so sometimes it's just like a vast emptiness, but looking at things with forms without any attachment to it. So I feel like it's lighter than before when I was in America. So I guess you told me to stay in the path, so I came back. So thank you for that. So yes.
Okay. Yeah, everything is illusional. What we see with our sense
Yes.
organs, and they are all illusional. This
Yes.
world that we live in, the physical world, the material world, they are just components of the four elements.
Yes.
That one sooner or later they will fall apart and return to the separate state.
Yes. Thanajan, it's like similar to it's not just our realm, but I know it and I believe it, other realms as well, Prom and Divas, they also have their own reality. But if you're not yet an arahant, then you're still in your own play. So you should practice it every day to get away from this suffering and the delusion and illusion. So it's not just being born with a body, but even when you have so much merit, you can be a diva in another level, and still you have to come back if you don't do it correctly. So I want to do this correctly. So
Yes, you have to get rid of all the 10 fetters.
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. But when you come back, did you have to quarantine?
Yes, I did. I got Johnson's & Johnson's vaccination, and it wasn't even 14 days. So I had to actually quarantine for 11 days.
11 days.
Yes. But I had a lot of time, listening to Dhamma and, being with myself. And it went by very fast. I liked it. My own personal retreat.
Yeah, retreat.
Yeah, really. It was very good experience, actually.
With the food served at the right time, you don't have to worry about food or anything.
Yeah, exactly. And, everything went well. Everything was good. So right when I got out of the quarantine, I forgot where I lived. I only remember where the temple was. So what I did was I got discharged from the quarantine, and I went to a retreat in Nakhon Pathom for 4 days. So so right after I got here, I actually went to the temple. So that felt very, very nice. But I think the temple is not a place. The temple is always within. If you have a heart that is a temple, you can take it anywhere. So I believe in that. So thank you, Thanajan.
Okay, welcome back.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. You can come by whenever you want.
I will. I will. I have a
Okay.
lot of questions for you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Next.
Kenneth.
We have 9 minutes left.
Kenneth.
Kenneth?
Yes. He just come in.
Hello, Tanajan. Sorry.
Hi,
I'm
you
late.
just came in late, huh? Just came in.
Yeah, sorry, I'm late. I don't have any questions. I just had a day of examination. So
I see. No question, just want to say hello.
I think, Tanajan, maybe you should organize an exam sometime for the class. And then
You have to do your own exam. You know. Everyone have to have their own exam, and they have to know when they want to take them. This is something that I cannot put it for you. You have to ask yourself, am I ready to take the exam yet?
yeah, I know this. Thank you, Tanajan.
Okay. Sunan, always last.
Hello, Ajahn. Nice to see you again.
Okay, any question?
Yeah, I just had a random question. So I was like wondering like, like cause if let's say we are feeling something, then I mean we will feel it in our body. Like for example, if whether we are happy or sad or angry. I'm just wondering like if like for other beings that do not have a body, do they feel anything? Since they cannot feel it in their bodies.
No,
So,
you're mistaken. See, your body don't feel anything. Ask yourself when you're angry. Ask yourself: is my hand angry? Is my nail angry? Is my teeth angry? They're not angry. See? Your body is not angry. It's your mind that is angry.
Oh, okay.
It's your misunderstanding. See? To think that the body feels anything or know anything. The body doesn't feel or know anything. Ask the hair. Does the hair feel anything or know anything?
Oh, okay. Then, but
the hair, just like the clothes you wear. The clothes you wear, does it know that you're angry when you're angry?
Yeah, understand. So, because I was just thinking like, sometimes like when we learn the Dhamma, then like people will say, if you are upset, angry, or sad, just like notice where you are feeling it in your body. So I'm just wondering, how does that applies?
It just there's no feeling in the body, but there might be some effect that causing the body to react. Like sometimes you get stomachache because you're upset, But it's not the upset that it's not the feeling that's in the stomach. The feeling of sad or angry or anxiety is in the mind, which can have result on your parts, on your body parts.
Oh, okay, got it. I had the misunderstanding that the body is feeling the feelings.
No, the body doesn't know how to feel. The body is like the clothes you wear. Does your clothes know anything or feel anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Does the spectacle know what you see? It doesn't know what you see, right?
Yeah.
The eye doesn't know what it sees either. It's the mind who knows what it is seeing, what your eyes are seeing. Your eye is just like your glasses. There is no knowing or consciousness in the body.
Oh, okay. So it's the mind that use the body to go and cling and like jump.
That's right.
And happy.
The mind uses the body as the medium or the instrument to see, to hear, to feel, and touch.
Oh, okay.
And it's the mind that reacts to what it sees, hears, feels, or touch by having good feeling or bad feeling arising. When you see something you like, you have good feeling arising in your mind, not in your body. When you hear something good, you have good feeling. When you hear something bad, you have bad feelings. The body is just an instrument, like an automobile. It just do its duty. The body is the one that takes in the sensual objects for the mind to experience and to feel.
Okay. Yeah.
So without the body, the mind can still feel, can still get angry, can still get mad. Like when you dream, sometimes you dream and getting mad in your dream, right? Getting angry in your dream. Death of the body or sleep, when you go to sleep, is a similar thing. When you sleep or when you die, then the mind cannot use the body. But the mind can still use its own imagination to think, to create dreams, to create stories in the mind.
Oh, okay.
Like when you're daydreaming, you can be doing something with your body, but your mind can be dreaming about going to a holiday in that country or in that places, right? Okay. So the body doesn't know how to dream, doesn't know how to feel.
Yeah. And then when we are daydreaming, how do we like
Because you don't have mindfulness. You don't have mindfulness. If you have mindfulness, then you don't dream, daydream. You just you stay focused with your body. You have to practice mindfulness to see the difference between having mindfulness and having no mindfulness.
Yeah. I meditated in the last week. Then I kept falling asleep.
Because you don't have enough mindfulness.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we almost run out of time now. We have about two minutes left. Still, another question for anybody?
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay.
Karen.
Who?
Karen.
Karen, okay, Karen.
I just wanted to quickly just say thank you to everybody who helped me get into Zoom tonight. This is such a lovely group. Everybody just quickly helped me. I couldn't figure out how to get back in. And I just wanted to thank everybody for your help. That's all.
Okay. We have another question from Facebook. Okay.
Two more questions from Facebook,ท่านอาจารย์ First question from Tae In Hua. How should one understand the teaching of dependent origination or paticca samuppada? Thank you.
Actually, right now, when you're starting, you don't need to know this at all. Yeah, and you never understand it anyway. So if you don't understand it now, it means you'll never understand until you have practice first. So right now, do the practice, do mindfulness practice first. Get your mind to calm and peace and equanimity. Then you'll understand the working of the paticca samuppada, or the dependent origination. If your mind isn't calm, you won't be able to see the working of the dependent origination. So you need to first practice, get into samadhi, get into your mind, look at your mind, and you'll start to see the working of the dependent origination, working all the time in your mind.
And last question from Aseng. Prajan, during anapanasati or vipassana meditation, mind is very quiet and calm. Body experience calm, no pain, discomfort. Instead, only very few fine sensations. However, thoughts keep arising and pass away very quickly. The sanya is still working. Is this considered jhana, and how to proceed further? Please guide. Thank you.
We need to stop the thinking. Yeah. Then you get to the fourth jhana when you stop thinking. But your feeling and your perception is still working. And you have to progress up to the higher level of jhana to eventually come to the cessation of perception and feeling. We call this the Nirodha Samadhi, the highest one. But it's not necessary for the practice of vipassana. Or you want to stop thinking and be able to control your thinking. When you come out of your jhana, you want to direct your thinking to the path of anicca, dukkha, anatta. Right now, your thinking wants to go to the path of cravings, craving for sensual pleasure, craving for being, and craving for not being. So you want to redirect the direction of your thinking to think in terms of anicca, dukkha, anatta. But before you can do this, you have to stop it first by focusing on your breath when you meditate. Okay, I think that's about all for tonight. Unless anybody have some urgent question that need to be answered. If not, I will call this meeting to an end. Thank you very much for your participation. Enjoy your presence, and I hope that you can benefit and help you advance in your practice. In the meantime, please be safe, be happy, be mindful and keep on practicing. If all goes well, I'll see you again next Tuesday. Thank you and goodbye.
สาธุค่ะ
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Thanks,
Bye.
Amin.
Bye bye.
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 Thank you คุณลา
Thank you ขอบคุณครับคุณลา